Hello, and welcome to this, our penultimate episode, Season 1, Transylvania Beckons. We're going to go ahead and go around and introduce ourselves really quick, make sure you know where you can find us before we get into the meat and potatoes of this one. And today we're going to go ahead and start with the wonderful Azure.
Hello, everybody. Hello, I am the Azure Butterfly, or Azure for short, or simply Rachel. I am playing Prince Juliana Volstadt, the gangrel prince of the Bordeaux Pass.
Hello, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the things, including here on Twitch, where I stream Monday to Friday. Today, I'll be playing Rosalind, the First Tribute Prince.
Hi, I'm Hadi, or Hadi von Schland. I'm a World of Darkness community ambassador. Also a storyteller of many things, including the upcoming Berlin Bloodlines here on this channel. But tonight I'm playing Gisela von Heidenheim, the Malkavian.
Hello, I'm as I was on the social medias, because I think I'm funny, and today I will be playing the Prince of Our Hearts, Jack, who needs a snack badly.
Yeah, what's up? My name's Edge. I'm playing Morian. I don't know how much of a sneak peek y'all want, but I'm not gonna give y'all any. So, just watch and see what unfolds.
Indeed, and as always, I will be playing literally everyone else as I am the storyteller for this chronicle. So let's go ahead and get right into this penultimate episode titled The Betrayal. As last we left our coterie of cantankerous Canaanites, they were moving north through the mountains. It's been many days and nights since the battle outside of the gates of Kronstadt. The Inquisition left behind their fires and holy ire. Still hot, but not hot on your trail, at least. It's been several days. Rough travel through the Carpathian Mountains. At points, of course, the Blood Dolls have had to make sure that they're the ones driving the cart, because without that you would be stuck during the day. There would be no travel. Amidst the winding goat paths, maybe it's the general malaise of a near-death experience. But you've just been traveling. Go ahead and do a quick round and talk about where everyone's heads are at. We're going to start with Jack.
Jack is still very pissed because he's starting to get scared. Especially given what we talked about in the meeting with all of the princes, and knowing that the people at the head of that meeting probably don't actually give a fuck what happens because it works towards their goal if they take us all out. We've got the Inquisition on our backs. We have the rest of the princes potentially going under. So he's planning for war. He's been pretty quiet as we've traveled. He's been making sure the Blood Dolls are okay. Checking on Gisela in his own way, which just means sitting with her. Given that she chucked her crucifix out the window.
Indeed.
Checking in on the rest of the coterie and Jill.
Days and nights. Quiet contemplation. The deep breath before the plunge, I believe a great wizard once said. Listen. What's been on your mind these last, and I'll finally disclose, these last 4 days and nights of travel?
Rosalind has been debating this entire time whether or not to inform the council of what's happened. Every time she thinks I should, she remembers Garatrix's words and what happened to him. And every time she says she shouldn't, something doesn't sit right with her. Maybe it's just the blood bomb tugging at her. She wants, if anyone, to tell Celestine, but she doesn't have the privacy to do so, and that's irritating her. If anyone would try to talk to her, she's been very snippy and irritable, but mostly kept to herself. Noticed that Gisela no longer has her crucifix, but hasn't said anything yet.
Indeed, it's often difficult for type A personalities when they're shunted into a box where they can't truly act their own volition. When the sort of mind that sees a problem and makes a solution, when there are so many problems on the table, becomes frazzled, afraid. I imagine that same fraying at the edge of your dress from the running also brings a certain amount of frustration.
Oh, yes. It's a reminder of what happened.
A reminder indeed. Not that you needed one. I think in the depths of Rosalind's keen and adept mind, I don't think this is a memory that's going anywhere anytime soon.
Certainly not.
Jill.
Just how Rosalind's been quiet for these past several days, Jill has been as well. Maybe even almost out of characterly so. Her eyes keeping a close eye on her coterie members deep in her own head. Remembering the wolves, her own squad that she trusted, that she brought with her, defending them as they escape the Inquisition and passing. Remembering their sacrifice. Oh, maybe a little proud as well as to how many that they were able to hold off for being so few. But still, she also remembers the blade that cut into her. That could have so easily had her meet her final death. And how she was just barely able to get Rosalind out of there. Barely able to escape with her family. And she is also
quite strange. Because as well as that memory of that sword has been sitting beside Gisela the whole time.
Alright.
There's no need for a mental reminder, the physical reminder, the blade that shorn your flesh and bone as if you were room temperature butter. Sits across from me.
She's probably been staring at it every so often. She probably wouldn't have said any words to Gisela, but after seeing her throw out the crucifix, she would have offered a sympathetic look. In her usual, if you need me. But her mind's on war right now, too. She's thinking of the past. She's thinking of Scylla. She's thinking of what might be coming in these knights with the Inquisition. Have they been to the pass yet? She doesn't know, and she's terrified too. The wolves need to mobilize.
I believe the Latin term is un momentum mori, a reminder of your death. Often useful when contemplating thoughts of war. Go ahead and shift over to Kiesel.
Gisela has for sure not spoken any words to anyone in 4 days. And she has for sure not let go of the bastard sword. Or held it the whole time. Internally, she's a wreck. Broken mentally. She doesn't know who she is. She keeps thinking about a word in her tongue. Doppelganger. Thinks maybe that she's not really Gisela, or she used to be Gisela, but she's something else, and she tricked herself into believing she was someone else, and she's been carrying Gisela's corpse around so long. It's pretty broken and unintelligible and difficult in there.
As the minds of Malkavians are often wont to be. Broken, unintelligible reflections of the truths of the world around them. I want you, Gisela, to make me a wits and either occult or, let's see here, what's another applicable skill here? Theology. Thank you. We're going to say the difficulty is 7.
Only one. She's too broken. She can't think.
With 1 success.
1 success on 8 dice.
This is strange. But your mind does recall what was rather a comic image in that illuminated Bible that you were given at your wedding by Sister Fleur. It was Moses as a desert hare leading a bunch of different animals through the desert. 40 years. And with just that single success, I don't know what that conjures in Gisela's mind. That is a memory that your broken Malkavian mind calls upon in this moment.
Honestly, in this moment, if that's what crosses her mind, it's a memory of Gisela's, not hers, whoever she is.
She is indeed. However, as you're all rising, this day you lose a point of blood. That one of the blood dolls leans into the cart. She says, forgive me, my lady, there is a town. Should we stop?
Is anybody hungry?
That's actually a good question. Over the past 4 days, how much feeding have we been able to have, and how much has Jill been able to heal?
This is the thing. You can have tried to expend blood to heal. The wounds from that blade do not knit together properly. This sword is something different. You've heard over your years and from traveling Gangrel, you've passed through your domain, that there are certain items that are called imbued, touched by faith or magic, that even on your undead bodies, which are meant to heal properly, you will be bound to the way that mortals heal, slowly over time. Other than that, you would have all lost 3 points of blood for the 3 day sleeps that you went through as well.
Jill say to Rosalind, I'm hungry, very. And not expecting the kiss of that blade to have done what it's done. And she's gonna kind of like clutch a little bit at her chest, feeling that wound still.
She'll look at it. Well, then you shouldn't have gotten hit.
Jill's just gonna stare.
Are you hungry, Rosalind?
Could I have fed on my blood doll, one of my blood dolls in this time?
Sure. Both of the blood dolls, full disclosure, both of the blood dolls are able to give without injury 8 points of blood every 2 days.
Okay, so I was started the journey at 3. Okay, cool.
So over the course of this journey, each of them have had 16 points of blood to give. So
Just a point of reference, Gisela wouldn't have fed at any point.
noted. That would be 32 points of blood that could be divvied up between the 3 of you.
Jill probably would.
Rosin would have fed first. Probably right away.
Jill would have asked. Also, to the point of Rosalind being snippy in that moment, Jill opens her mouth as if she was going to say something, then remembers the debt and closes her mouth.
Fair enough.
No, I'm not, but we shouldn't. If we're going to feed, we should do it quickly.
Agreed.
Jack's been taking care of the blood dolls, not feeding on them.
Oh.
And I will go ahead and say that Jack, doing your feeding into your caretaker archetype, I will say you will have been able to regain 2 points of willpower the course of this journey. Just silently checking in, monitoring everyone's progress.
Sure, everyone's as okay as they can be in these times.
Easily. It's in this moment you feel that strange out-of-body buzz across your skin. Your vantage point is pulled high out of the top of the cart. High enough to see that though it is dark up here, the sun is only just setting on the other side of the mountains. You're just high enough up in them that it's blocked from your view. You see a town in sort of not a valley, but sort of a natural land bridge between two mountain peaks. See a large, beautiful manor up the hill from them. And you unconsciously know that following up 12,308 steps, there's a monastery. And you see rising from this mansion a dragon with scales as black as night and wings of a raven. Its tail curls around the walls of the manor.
Mm-hmm. Are we in the cart or outside of the cart in the town?
You are all in the cart, and you now know from that vision and your vantage point, you've got about an hour before you arrive at the town.
Okay. Mm. She's gonna, I don't know, she's gonna take off her wimple or whatever it is that she wears over her head and her starched collar and sort of, as the cart is not moving, just throw it outside of it. And we'll just offhandedly say, we'll be in the town in an hour. Probably the first thing she said in 4 days.
Oh, she speaks. Good.
I hope you are all prepared to walk 12,308 Steppen.
No, my chest is damaged, but my legs are fine.
I already told you. All the broken parts are inside.
Jill's gonna actually crack a smile at that.
And then Jack's gonna hang out the window and kind of survey what's going on around the area until we get to the town.
It's one of those Carpathian villages. You know, all roads in and out are basically old goats' herds path that there might be half an inch of leeway to your left for the cart to deviate before you would find yourselves hurtling over the edge and into a dark chasm. But you do, with your acute sense of smell, Jack, do smell people near. Dogs, goats, sheep. Beer. But you do catch a final scent. Much closer, but much older. You've smelled the blood of the dragons before. You smell it here. If you would like to roll me a perception and survival, you may.
Yeah, we're slightly good at that. What's difficulty?
7?
1.
You see some tracks. Just as the horses and the wheels of the cart trample through them. Someone has come this way, probably last night.
We should probably check in with whose village this is.
Like whose domain it is?
Probably a good idea.
Belongs to a dragon.
I smell a dragon. Think he's listening.
If anyone would like to roll an intelligence and politics.
I would like to use my 1 dot in politics, yes.
There you go. There you go. Ride that fucking 1 dot for all it's worth.
Is it intelligence in politics?
How many ones am I gonna roll? I'm manifesting it in my dice. The sadness one.
What's the difficulty?
7. For Joe.
5.
So we'll go in order. Gisela, you know what you know from this vision. You know that this is the domain of a dragon. With 1 success, you don't know which one it is. But you've done extensive research into the Sumis. This is an ancient domain, but you're not sure who is in charge here. Still, this domain is not far from your own. You briefly recall a group of kindred who passed through here, a group of Canaanites, forgive me, who talked about some knight who became a voivode of this region. You've never personally met him, but it is very close to your domain, and you've been kind of meaning to establish some form of contact. But at the end of the day, the princes of the 7 cities are their own political organization, and the only bridge between them usually is Radu of Bistritz, who is not only a voivode, but also a prince of the 7 cities. This could be an opportunity to make a second point of contact for you.
Noted.
Awesome. Are you still writing letters back and forth with Mika? Is that something you've continued over the years?
Yes.
Spicy.
About 200-ish years ago, you and Mika were writing back and forth, and he talked about a wayward child of his that returned to Transylvania and claimed a voivodate for himself. I in the Carpathians, just north of the Borgia Pass. Mika never named him. But you are aware that one of Mika Vikos' children is the voivode of this region. You would also know, being that it's decently close to your own domain as well. This is an isolated area of political control. You know that the voivodate is much more about the land than the people. People come and go. It is the land which endures. And with 5 successes, You know that this is the town of Cernog, and that name is not unfamiliar to you. If you recall, many years ago, you and Zelios read a book from your library called the Liberum Terram, the Book of the Land. And you noted that some great beast sleeps beneath the monastery of Cernog.
She'll look like she's calculating. Oh, we're approaching Cernog, and according to one of my studies from long ago, like, a great beast sleeps under the monastery.
Great beast. What sort of beast?
I also know the one of Mika Vikos' childer has domain here.
Oh, it's one of Mika's.
We should definitely
I agree. I've been meaning to meet with the one here.
You haven't?
That the camera will briefly pan over. Voivode Morin of the House of Basara. Night finds you. Of course, you will lose 1 point of blood as you awaken. What does Morian's nightly habits consist of?
He's a loner, so he tends to mind his business and keep at his work. Different designs that he has on progression. Though recently it felt like there's been quite a few more footsteps as of late.
It's at that time that at this point it would probably be your great-nephew, the puppet lord that you have installed to keep the mortals unaware of your existence, though still assert your control. Alfard comes into your chamber. Forgive me, uncle. There is news.
Speak. Come close.
He does, and he kneels and holds his hands out for your hand. It's customary for him to kiss the ring every time he comes to visit.
There's no need.
He stands. A group of Canaanites came through. They did not wait here over the night, over the day's sleep, to meet with you.
Where are they now?
I believe they have gone up the 12,000 stairs to the monastery.
No names, nothing.
They left bodies in their wake. 3 of our guards are dead.
And when did this happen?
Just after you had retired for the evening last night.
Well, I guess we need to get the arms and the men. This is tiring. I'm tired.
I wish it were something that I could do to aid. However, the scouts say there is a cart approaching. The wise woman amongst the scouts, she says that there are K-Knights in the carriage.
There's so many.
Something is drawing them. And I loathe to think what that may be.
Well, watch them. See that they come, if they wish to come.
I will meet with them.
Notify me of their arrival. If I'm not here, I'll be preparing my blade.
As you say, your will, my hands. He dismisses himself. And again, you have a moment to yourself. These precious moments that you hold so dear, these moments where you're uninhibited by the conservative minds of everyone around you, and you have time for your pursuit, as precious and rare as that time. What are you working on this evening? What is the design on your drafting table?
As of right now, I like symmetry. I like things to look as if they belong. Designs of new beasts, formations of bone, what would be strategic and defensible at the same time. Nothing new within the family, but something better.
I think in all fairness, something that dawned on you recently was just the basic idea of fragile life. I mean, once the head is gone, the body withers. What if you could change that? I think what we see on Morian's table in this moment is the form of creature. The specific nature of that creature, I'll leave to you, but the organs, the vital organs moved, changed, so that missing pieces might not necessarily mean the end of the use of the thing. Parts that are protected by the bowels like kind of put towards the back of the creature behind and like woven into their intestines, and you see that the intestines are lined with what could be characterized as bone to further protect the heart in the center of them. The eyes that aren't truly seeing, but they are sensory organs. You've adapted, you've spent a lot of time studying what a lot of your kin would consider to be mundane creatures. Moles, rabbits, badgers. So I think maybe we might see a sensory organ kind of protruding from what would be the navel of this creature, but instead it is some sort of like the noses of moles, how they can detect small vibrations in the air around them. Things of this nature. It is far beyond this time in its inventiveness. There's a seed of something here. And you've always known that, Maureen. There's always been a seed of something here. Just getting it to grow. You have a little bit more time. Are you going to keep working? Prepare yourself for visitors? What's the goal?
I'll keep working until the last minute.
As you say. Go ahead. You wouldn't mind. And give me a... Give me an intelligence plus crafts body roll. And we'll say that this is going to be at a difficulty of 8.
6.
You work hard. But as one of your servants tells you that your guests are arriving, you sit your quill down, and sit back in your chair a little bit and look at this craft you've made. This will work. It will be something entirely new. And you are very convinced that even should the flesh be weak, the spirit is willing, as those pesky fucking Christians like to say. You're very sure that you have something here that will not only work, but will certainly be able to, if not confound the gargoyles that have been assaulting your domain, potentially be able to destroy them. If you had enough of these. It would aid in that tired feeling that you have. It would alleviate some of your own burden.
There's something here.
So your servant ducks in. They don't even look you in the eye. They keep their eyes focused on the ground. My lord, the visitors, they have arrived.
Yeah. Take me to him.
The camera will go ahead and pan back to the coterie at large, descending into the town of Cernog. As much as Jack smelled, there are goats and sheep and hogs in pens on the sides of houses. A few have gotten out and are running around the streets. There's drinking, feasting, but there are guards on duty. And they cross their spears in front of the cart as a man, probably in his early 30s, curly, deep, black hair, dark, swarthy skin, denoting heritage from either the far south of the Mediterranean or perhaps even Africa itself. Looks you all over. What is your business in Sarnok?
We are passing through, but we wish to meet the one who protects this land.
You see a kind of older woman leans up into his ear as he leans over. I am the Lord of Sarnog, Alphard, but I gather you are not here to see me.
Jack's gonna lean out and sniff. Does he smell like any of the blood?
He does, but in the way that Sherazina and Dragomir smell of the blood. In fact, he smells very similar.
Well, we don't want to speak with you.
Away. Stable dead horses. I will take them. This older woman kind of walks forward and just pets the horse's noses gently. Alphard offers his arm to each of you, getting out of the carriage. I am the Lord Alphard Basara. I will take you to him.
We thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Just sort of as you're walking through the town, point. It's slightly larger than the towns on either side of the pass, but not as big as both of them put together. Certainly old. The majority of you, actually all of you technically, came to Transylvania around the time of the second Saxon incursion, when many Saxons and Bohemians migrated into Hungary and Romania. All of this entire village looks older than anything you've ever seen. The architecture is, I don't want to say more primitive, because that's not the right term, is rustic in its nature. It is purely Hungarian. You know, these people, their tribe is called the Zeklers. They are some of the oldest inhabitants in all of Transylvania. This ethnicity stretches back to the princes of Dacia and the legionnaires of Rome. It's beautiful in its simplicity. As you're guided through the town, Alphard looks over his shoulder for a moment. There are a few questions which need asking before we arrive at the manor.
then
Of
by all
course.
means ask them.
Are you in any way associated with the visitors who came through last evening?
She's gonna look at her. Jill's gonna look at her other coterie members before answering. I do not believe we have any association, as far as I'm understanding.
Depends on who the visitors were. The people I smelled on the road were some of your own.
I have gathered that they are, if my intuition serves correct, I believe you call them anarchs.
Rosalind won't roll her eyes.
No association.
None.
At all.
You are telling me you do not know Dragomir of the House of Bazara.
He's dead.
He was here last night.
Jack's gonna look at Gisela.
I think Jill is too.
Yeah, Rosalind will also look at her.
We all. You said he died, buddy.
Yeah. You saw him die, right?
Pretty stone-faced and unfazed, she's going to say, I imagine this is not Dragomir of the Cupola. He is the one who took him from me.
What do you know of the cupola?
She'll sort of weirdly turn her head. It's a demon.
One that we thought we sealed.
The demon told me that he belonged to him. I tried to fight the demon. I lost. Gisela lost.
Jill's gonna look at Gisela a little funny at that.
I brought the sword with me too.
Sure.
Does Gisela smell like Gisela?
Actually, that's a good question. Does Gisela smell like Gisela?
For all
Except-
intents and purposes, yes.
You just have Jack and Jill just sniffing around you for a second.
Fine for now. Everything's fine for now. Yeah.
You seem Gisela enough.
I don't have a response to that.
Oh. Dragomir fell and something came through. Wearing his face.
He was already possessed, somewhat influenced by the demon. I imagine now it has come to completion.
Should have been sealed away, though.
He fell first. And nothing
Is that
lasts
the
forever,
line?
Rosalind.
The cupola is of the land. And if Dragomir belongs to the cupola, then the land belongs to Dragomir. It's at that point that he leads you all through the massive iron double doors into the courtyard of this immense, into the mansion itself. A few flights of stairs to a small court chamber where Edge, if you don't mind describing your character, as they sit in their receptionary chamber.
Much like your description of the Lord of Cernog, I am likewise. Beard, goatee, long, decorated with beads and heavy weights, wavy shoulder length hair, dark skin, He's currently dressed as if prepared to fight. Fairly tall, I guess. Not overly big or anything of that, but he is shown to have an athletic build. Yeah.
As Alfard enters the room with all of you and gestures to this sitting man, he says, I introduce you to the Voivode of Cernog, Voivode Morian Basara.
A pleasure, Voivode Morian. I am Prince Juliana Volstadt of the Borgio Pass. It is an honor to make your acquaintance.
Will bow. Prince Rosalind of Alba Iulia. A pleasure.
Ladies first.
Hazel will walk up and lay the sword at their feet. A gift for your hospitality, Voivode. Then we'll walk back.
Morian, you see laid at your feet a bastard sword. Beautiful, polished. Unfortunately, it has a little bit of Christian iconography about it. But so did you at one point. There are jewels in the pommel and the hilt. It appears to be silvered on its edges. And I will not even require a roll for this, as I know the level that you have the spirits whisper in your ear, the spirits of the land. This is the special gift. Is blessed by the priests of their Yahweh. It will cut deep and clean, lasting wounds, even on your kind.
I'll wait until the last introduction, but there is a noticeable, I guess, trance that he has on the blade. A wanting.
So Jack inclines his head.
I'm Jack of Sigisar. It's nice to meet you, Voivode. Morian, was it?
Yes. Morian. Welcome. And thank you for the gift. Can I attempt to wield it?
Sure. You pick it up. It feels a little heavy. The ornamentation of it kind of puts a little bit more weight in the hilt and the pommel than you're used to for a sword of this length. With your background, this has been weighted particularly for use on horseback. It's strange. You could make a few alterations to it, but it doesn't hurt you. But you feel like it should.
Well, I'll call someone to take it away, to set it aside, a proper place for it.
The servant comes, a rather mousy-looking teenager. Kind of, their hair is in much more dense curls, but displaying the same ethnic features as the lord and the voivode. Comes and takes the sword away. You know, Morin, it will be taken to a place of esteem. It will be cleaned, and then it will be brought to your chambers for further examination and analysis.
Welcome. So please, what can I do you for?
I do have one question first. Is Dragomir still here?
I do not know. Who you're speaking of. Unless this isn't a reference from last night.
And Alfard will nod. Dragomir is a cousin of ours, many times removed from ourselves. He is the grandson of the warlord Ventila. And Morian, you are very aware of Ventila. You didn't know he had grandchildren. But up until about 100 years ago, he was the only other voivode that was as staunch in arms against fighting the gargoyles as you were. You fought many battles together. He was a fierce and bloodthirsty, true Hungarian Transylvanian warlord. He had earned your respect many times over, and you'd both saved each other's unlives many times before that.
If that's family, Okay. Well, I have not met Dragomir.
And it's more than likely you won't.
Yes.
Be wary of him, as he is not himself right now.
He was meant to have fallen some time ago.
Well, unfortunately, it seems he's meant to fall again.
We heard about, slightly, we heard tales of what happened, or at least we know something happened last night.
Yeah.
Anything that we can assist with?
Do you all wish to assist? Is it?
Offering us hospitality, it's the least we can do.
Well, you all shown face and granted me gifts as a bow. I won't say no. As I'm preparing to take these steps very soon myself to hopefully catch up with them.
Perhaps we can go together.
At that point, one of your scouts enters the room, Morian. Sweating profusely, breathing heavily. Forgive me for interrupting, my lord. I made it back as fast as I could. I got a glimpse of the invaders. Four of them entered the monastery. K-Knights. 5 K-Knights remain on the door with 10 revenants among them. The force is larger than we anticipated.
And the people?
I saw banners of the House of Basara. And he kind of looks to Alfard. Alfard nods. There were also banners of the House of Vikos. Constantine.
Why does he want to get into the monastery? To find the dragon.
You seem
No. He is a dragon. It's not the one in the monastery.
You speak of the rumored beast.
It's not a rumor. I saw him.
I would like you to very quickly make me just a pure intelligence roll. Rosalind.
Sorry, I did not catch that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
name got cut off.
Pure intelligence. No, god. What is the difficulty?
6.
Okay, 2.
Yet again, your canny brain begins to connect dots very quickly. Your second night on the road, you got a visit from Octavia. Told you that the Lord of Fiends hung upon the edge of destruction by his vengeful childer. Gisela has seen the dragon of the monastery.
We would also,
Librum.
including Rosalind, know that the Lasombra got chomped as well, right? We had heard that.
Yep.
Already.
The Sombra antediluvian has been consumed. There have been whispers amongst... You've been notified that there have been whispers amongst the younger Semis of the same thing. And the cold dread seeps into your bones. That perhaps the antediluvian of the Semis is the great beast which rests beneath the monastery of Cernog.
Clench her jaw and look like she's realized something.
Are you alright, Rosalind?
Voivod, do you know what lies under the monastery?
just stay clear from the monastery. Though whatever's in it, whoever's in it, she'll have peace granted by me.
I believe their peace may be disturbed very soon. Antediluvians have been getting consumed. What if the Semis antediluvian is next?
Because when is the last time you heard from him? Rosalind.
That's a good question.
I think it would be appropriate to say that you guys have written letters back and forth within the year.
Okay. Recently.
Any inclination that they might be up to something? Or part of this?
Or that they're in the area at least.
did mention coming to visit soon, Rosalind.
They said they would come to visit me.
Friends.
We've known Mika for
Sometime.
centuries. Some of us better than others.
Rosalind's so
Morian, you feel your beast curl. That low rumble of the dragon that slumbers inside of you.
Well, having a friend like that comes with enemies, as I'm sure you know.
I think that associates with most friends you make.
It seems we don't have much time to dawdle.
No.
If you wish to assist, I'll accept. And of course, my domain is yours as long as you stay respectful.
Are there any specific laws here?
No killing of my people, animals, respectful of the land. Besides that, I don't see any problems.
Simple to the point. I like it.
Likewise.
Rosalind will bow again. Thank you for your hospitality.
Jill will also bow. Storyteller, how far is the Borgio Pass in, like, day travel?
2.
2? Okay. Voivo, do you have a courier that I may make useful? I must get a message to the pass.
I'll signal someone over. To happen
Another
soon.
one of your cousins approaches.
Yeah. Leave it with them. They'll see to it.
I thank you.
Alfard kind of looks to you. If we are to meet them, we should perchance make haste if it pleases my lord.
Yes. Arms. Are you all in need of anything?
Arrow.
Look to the coterie.
I require arrows.
Just blood.
Blood, too. Blood would help a lot.
And maybe something for my sister. She was wounded by your gift.
At that, Jill is going to lightly move to shift to show off aspects of the cleave that was across from the... Because, correct me if I'm wrong, it was pretty much like from like the top of one shoulder down her chest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's going to show off an aspect of that.
Morian, you see, you are very fluent in wounds of the battlefield. This is one of those things where if it was a mortal, that would have been it. You see a clean, bisected wound that cuts through collarbone. There's a part of the top lobe of one of the lungs missing. This is a wound for sure, and on a canine, you would think that this would have begun to heal, even if it had been a few hours ago. That there would be some amount of healing occurring, and this wound, it's going to take some vicissitude, more than likely, to put back together.
I may be able to help, though it'll take some time. After we solve whatever is going on at the monastery, I'll see to you.
She's going to smile at that, and she's going to bow her head, and she's going to say, I would be in your debt.
I believe it would be fair across the board, helping with the before and after.
Of course.
Yeah, this would fall into, just for your awareness, this would fall into the second dot of vicissitude, transmogrify the multiply.
Oh god. Was that again, Jack?
I believe it would be fair if we assisted with the monastery and any cleanup afterwards for my sister's debt.
Translation: Jack's worried about the amount of debt Jill has.
I mean, technically, it's only one.
I know.
It's only one. It's a big one, but it's only one.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. Look, he's just trying to be a good big brother since he fucked off for 50 years.
Well, we could talk about it afterwards. If we survive, that is.
That is the key.
I do have a herd. If I could bring them out as I grab blades, so they could quick feed.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is a 2-point herd, then that would be 30 points of blood that could be divvied up between anyone who needs blood.
Yeah.
With all the damage that Jill took and all the blood that she used from her blood pool during that fight to get all those machine gun hits out and then getting Rosalind to safety, she's definitely in need of blood, I think.
How much blood does one person have?
Each of them has 10 points to offer without injury.
Perfect. This isn't as bad as the blood doll, because that was 12, and so we just had to eat. We just had to eat the blood doll. It's fine. But yeah. So,
If I'm mapping this correctly, Jill needs to get back to normal. Jill needs 9 points.
I'm good. I have my blood doll. Yum.
Slurp, slurp. There's food to be had. I will say the blood of this herd is rich with the flavors of tradition. It's rich with the flavors of being accustomed to this. Not in the way that Rosalind's blood dolls are, but
Any roll Giza would have to make to resist feeding?
self-control.
May I make that roll?
You absolutely may.
We'll
We'll say, since there are 2 other people feeding, this will be a difficulty to 8.
How come I roll well here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
You do not need to feed unless you want to.
So that's a total
Go ahead.
18 points being used.
And so I'll go ahead and say that each of you who has willpower points missing, through this you will regain 1 point of willpower.
Hell yeah.
God bless.
I'm gonna enjoy these, 20 minutes with all this willpower.
Your supplies have been readied. Jill, you've been brought a quiver of 20 arrows.
Thank you very much.
These arrowheads are kind of wicked looking. they're called they're not sheath heads that you're used to, that triangular shape.
Yeah.
These have wings that come off the back into points. These arrows are not meant to pass all the way through a target. They're meant to stick and create a bigger wound when they're being pulled out.
Jill's going to examine the arrow very closely, very skillfully. She's going to say, these are mighty fine arrows. Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Alford nods and he kind of gestures his head over to Morian. He is a great mind. Out of order.
This design is one of your creations.
Possibly. I forget.
It was a long time ago, Uncle.
Well, put them to good use.
And they shall be, she says as she straps the quiver on. Very carefully, being mindful of her own wound.
Boy, would I hate to ask, is there a chamber where I may mentally prepare in solitude? I know it's a big ask. You may say no, of course.
Do you not intend to join us?
I do. I just need time.
Ooh.
How much time, Rosalind?
What?
How much time, Rosalind, do you need?
What? Oh, okay. I forgot to open the book. Fuck. I just want to prepare deflection of wooden doom. PDFs.
I think that ritual takes like an hour.
Oh shit! All right, we don't have that kind of time. Never mind.
My memory serves, that might not be right. Let me check.
If
Dark
it's
stairs.
a really long one, could we just, carry you while you prepare? It's a lot of steps from what Giza was saying.
It's 10 minutes.
Oh, it is
10 minutes. Okay.
Past this ritual, you must sit in a circle of wood for 10 minutes and chant the proper incantations. Once the ritual is complete, you place a tiny splinter of wood under your tongue. Such a fast.
There it is.
No.
Thank you so much.
What's with all these powers putting stuff under your tongue?
See,
It's all
the
about
book,
the mouth.
in the book that I have, it says the thaumaturgist must sit completely surrounded by a circle of wood for a full hour. But
Maybe, I was reading it right from 20th, so maybe it's different in Dark Ages 20th.
Maybe.
well,
They
to be
updated
fair,
some components, made the ritual
in-
more streamlined later on.
this is a unrevised core book, so that might be the difference.
I
I'm
can't pull
willing
Cloud
to,
as a community ambassador for this, for Rosalind, can I?
I am willing to go with the 10 minutes.
Okay.
As we've been operating on mostly revised rules.
I'll tell Kareem on you.
I only need 10 minutes.
It would give us some more time to maybe get some stakes together. You said that
Fair.
your lad said there was 10 revenants and 5 Canaanites, so...
With that in mind, how well would these arrowheads do against Canaanites, storyteller? Do I know? Do I have an inclining?
They would make a bigger wound coming out than they would going in. So for a Canaanite who, could pull them out and survive, they're probably pretty useful.
That's very true.
I was waiting for the fun fact. Arrows are made out of wood.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I was going to revisit that fun fact in combat. Now that it's out there.
I'm sorry.
Now that it's out there. Also, for the storyteller, I remember way back so many years ago, I had a shaft of blade acquiescence prepared. I never used it. I feel like she'd always have one on her person.
Do you still have that original one that you got?
I do.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Yeah, let's go for it. You
Alright.
have Celestine's shaft of blade acquiescence. So you prepare your deflection of the wooden doom.
Did I get the permission for that?
Yeah,
Oh,
you do. No, there will be guards outside.
that's fine. They'll hear weird incanting. Probably.
The 10 minutes passes. Have all prepared in what ways you can. What looms before you? 12,000 stairs, sure. That is the only thing you can be assured of. You all move through the town together, town of Cernog. As Morian moves through these night streets, when people do catch glimpses of his face in the light of, hanging braziers or, these sort of open pit fires that people are cooking on, people hide their gaze from him, refuse to look upon him. It's definitely, for those of you that are more empathetic than the others, it's certainly a mix of fear and respect. The fear of an undying lord, and the respect that he doesn't pull them when he chooses to eat. Stories of the ghost of the manor are whispered. You slowly ascend the 12,000 steps. Yes.
Before we went, while Rosalind was dealing with that, I would like to have Jill write a note, a message for to give to the courier that Morian was so gracious to provide, to basically let Scylla and the others know what transpired 4 days prior, and to make sure that other than the lichens and all the other issues we're dealing with, there is definite inquisition coming, and that it's time, and that the past must be prepared for war.
Okay.
And she's gonna seal it with her signet ring.
The messenger leaves expeditiously. We return to the scene at hand. The steps are ancient. These steps were probably hewn less than 100 years after the gospel of Christ began to spread over this region. This is one of the first monasteries in all of Transylvania. For those of you who are auspexly improved and or magically adept, this land thrums ancient power. Of course, you all know that beliefs are a powerful thing. And other than this monastery, you doubt that for you all, you may be some of the first white faces to ever climb these steps, to ever touch this land. Saxon influence has changed much of Transylvania, but not here. Not in the heart of the Carpathian Mountains. This truly is the land of the Zecklers. As you climb, that's evident. You see spaces where any Saxon mind would clear a small patch of forest and begin to plant harvestable food. You see places where the tall grasses here would have been cut and dried and woven into barrels or even, mache armors. Here they remain undisturbed, gently fluttering in the night breeze. There's a certain peace here, a certain harmony with the natural world that I'm sure both of the gangrel can appreciate.
Jill looks a little bit calmer, even with her wounds, as she's seeing all this.
You see a few birds up here as you walk, a few of the night birds that, due to Saxon cultivation of the land, are all but extinct in the valleys and the lowlands of Transylvania. It's neat to see the way things used to be. Things were even beginning to decline when Jill, Jack, when you were mortals. This reminds you of some of the things that, for Jill, probably Jack, that Ardbert would tell you about that he would see when he was a child.
Do I remember Ardbert in that moment, then?
You do. You remember him showing you how to snare some of the little birds that nest in the tall grasses. The few times he said he was proud of you, setting snares and checking trap lines.
It's definitely a somber piece. It's been some years now since she was freed of him. So, those memories suddenly flooding back, mixing with everything. And with her recent realizations, she comes to a very strange thought that even after everything that he had put her through, there were still those moments, and she does miss those moments.
Gisela, this trek that you're taking, even though I gather you're probably on Jack's back by this point.
I was gonna ask. I don't know how Jack's doing. How's Gisela doing? After about 1,000 steps, Jack just kind of picked Gisela up. So we have the Gisela backpack.
Yeah, probably unlike many other times where she'd be like, "Don't touch me." She probably wouldn't have made any resistance or said anything at all.
Jack's kind of just quietly talking to Gisela about the things he's seeing as they walk, knowing that she's probably not listening.
She's listening, but probably not saying anything.
Gisela, you're reminded of a time when you received a vision on the path to the anchorage. This path is not too dissimilar. It winds, climbs. You remember the fond memories you have of the anchorite who lived outside of the walls of the venerable St. Gregory the Decapitate's convent. You're reminded of the Mother Superior. I think in this moment you're reminded of the last words she ever said to you. I am who you will become.
Yeah. I think even if she's trying to recall something positive or something from her past, there's too much of a disconnect, and what flashes in her mind is Catherine of York, in a sudden flash of anger, and Jack is carrying her, might be a sudden grip as the memory, knowing that everything that has broken her was because of someone who used to be her friend. And then we'll let go of Jack and not say anything.
He'll just kind of, like, whatever arm is closest, just kind of pat it.
Rosalind, you're reminded of your first trip to Seorses. Climbing these mountains.
I think Rosalind is still a little annoyed, but trying to mask it much more now. Because while it is polite to help in exchange for hospitality, this is deviating from the plan, from the path. And that doesn't further or cause. This is a bump in the road that was unforeseen. But she tries to focus on the memories of Seorses, and then remembers what she wants to tell the council, and then everything's just bad. And so she's just in a foul mood, but trying to hide it.
Foul mood in knowing that eventually your path is going to lead you back to a man that you have had certain trials and tribulations with. Knowing that at the end of this path, Mika is waiting for you.
Yep.
It takes about 2.5 hours to get to the top of the stairs. It is a long trek. Were you mortals, you would be weary. But you are the dead. As you crest the top, the final of the 12,308 stairs. You see a small monastery. Broken iron fence surrounds it. Again, for all of you who are auspiciously enhanced or magically inclined, this certainly was holy ground at one point. It is not. It is in a deep state of disrepair. Clay tile roofing of the monastery has fallen in several places. The stone and the glass in the windows has been shattered, leaving just jagged fangs of colored stained glass, where once there was art and beauty. You do see there's a not small group of armed warriors standing outside of the gates of the monastery. They all take note of you, and you take note of them. Orion, you see a face you recognize amongst them. Fellow crusader, like yourself. One of Mika's other children of necessity. You know him by the name of Sir Everard the Younger. You do see that, unlike the last time you saw him where he was flying the banner of the poor fellow Knights of the Temple of Solomon, otherwise known as the Knights Templar, Now he flies under the banner of House Vicos of Constantinople. He steps forward. Is there going to be a problem here?
Don't you think there's already a problem?
Perhaps. That is for you to decide, is it not? Dear brother of mine. Is family unwelcome now?
We're not too young. We know our customs, our traditions. And you and yours spat on them the night before.
The second cell. Perhaps we have. You could join us, brother. You do not need the elders.
Then why are you in search for them?
Because we deserve the power to determine our own fates. Mika and Dragomir and Lambak, they will lead us. We will burn the fires of the elders from this world. We will control our own fates. For too long have they subjugated us. What cruelty is endowing us with this power and then stripping our will?
Perhaps our father showed you more kindness to make you feel this way. But I don't feel the same. And if there's power to be had, it'll be of my own.
Join us. There is enough vitae to be shared.
Stand aside.
So that is how it must be. Yeah, I was thinking you were a true born dragon. Yet you languish amongst the company of Tramir, Gangrel, and Markefian. How the mighty raven has fallen. He reaches for his sword. That is how it must be.
I have such a terrible question. Kick me out of the Chronicle if this is a bad question. As soon as he says anything like disparaging towards sorry, I want to pronounce the name correctly, Morian, and he's not trying to use Incubus humor on him? Or something worse. I have worse things than that. Don't I?
Be worse.
Soul
Being the
haunting.
terror you want to
Soul
see in the
haunting.
night.
If we're
Like,
fighting
before
as
he
bad
even
as you
finishes,
can.
like, before he even gets the sword out, like really unhinged and terrible and awful.
I love it. I'm here for it.
See what you've got going
On
on.
Jack's back still.
Jack's back. Just
Yeah,
using.
just put Gisela down. Just like, I'm prepared to fight. I brought my emotional support Malkavian.
Oh my god, now I'm just picturing, like, Yoda on Luke's back using the Force.
So, which power are you looking for?
Soul haunting.
Oh my god.
It is versus perception plus self-control / instinct.
Yeah, let's go for it.
This is a really huge dice pool for me.
That difficulty for you being their perception plus self-control is going to be 7.
Wait, I can't count. 4, 7, 8, 9. I have 2 10s and 2 9s and an 8. Someone help me do math. It's almost 11 p.m. 2 10s, 2 9s, and an 8.
9 successes. 9 successes.
9.
Gotcha.
Not me about the...
Okay, so we're using Hunt the Soul for 9 successes. Your Hunt the Soul, if he does not die before then, he will be haunted for a year and a half. What exactly... Are you trying to elicit a certain haunting, or are you going to allow his mind to create its own nightmare?
I'd like to create any type of nightmare that would make him want to run off of this mountain and jump off of it.
Perfect.
Get him. Slay.
This is my combat Volcavian.
I didn't appreciate him insulting the person I gave a gift to.
Rude, really.
We're gonna go ahead and roll initiative here.
All right.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
Welcome to the Coterie, Morian. Welcome to the Coterie.
Gisla's not normally like this.
As a point of order, because of how
I'm not.
damaged...
I saw that face.
As a point of order, because of how damaged Jill is, she's gonna stick closer to the back with Rosalind. I think that makes the most sense.
15 on my initiative. 10 plus 5. I just only roll well if I'm not dead inside.
I got 11.
Well,
17. I have a high dexterity.
Yeah.
Of Jack and Jill, Jack is strength, Jill is dexterity.
11.
With 4 dots of celerity, by the way.
Sorry.
She's fast.
Sorry, guys. So sorry about it.
No.
Wow.
Never apologize for ruining
Ruining the storyteller's monologue.
Okay, so,
We're gonna kill him anyways.
Gisela, what did you roll?
For initiative, 15.
15. Jack?
11.
Rosalind?
12.
Jill?
17.
Moria?
11.
So,
Fuck this.
starting off our
What
initiative
you?
order is going to be Jill.
Okay.
As we know, as we've done previous combats, I try to keep combat scenes at 3 rounds, and then we resolve from there. So, Jill, this is your first round. I'm going to make a not very large leap of logic. Actually, I'm going to say it's a tiptoe over a line of logic and say that you're going to spend a point of blood to activate celerity.
100%.
Okay. Alright. So, essentially, since you have gone first in initiative order, you're going to have 5 full dice actions back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
Yep. They are all, since I already positioned myself pre-combat next to Rosalind, they're all going to be arrow shots.
Okay. So this is going to be 5 of your 20 arrows spent.
Mm-hmm. I had 19 normal arrows still, too.
Oh, correct. Yes, this is true.
So I technically have a total of 39 arrows on me right now.
Which arrows are you using for these shots?
For these specific one, the beautiful new winged ones.
Gotcha. Great. Keep track of them separately because they do different things.
Of course, they already are kept separately on my traits.
Alright. So, you're going to take 5 shots.
Mm-hmm.
I will say again, if any of these shots are you're calling the heart shot to try and do the aerial staking, the difficulty of those shots is 9.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's 10.
Okay, so obviously popping celerity the second that she sees the sword getting drawn, and notching an arrow, one of the new winged arrows. She's going to take aim at the guy himself, and just loose it.
Okay, so an arrow through the heart is at a difficulty of 9. However, in order to stake a vampire, you must achieve at least 5 successes and inflict at least 3 levels of health damage.
Interesting. Heard.
So you have to not only get the successes you need on a difficulty of 9, it also has to, you have to have at least 5 successes on your roll, and they have to take at least 3 levels of damage.
So that's at least 5 9s for that?
Yes, you'll need at least 5 9s or 10s.
Got you.
And then they have to, even after they're soaked, they have to take at least 3 levels of damage.
Okay, so he's still getting hit by arrows regardless, though.
Yes, you're still going to do damage regardless, but
okay.
To get the torpid condition of being staked, it has to achieve all 3 of those things. And I'm going to take a picture of this really quick and send it to the chat so we don't ever lose it ever again.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I assume dexterity plus archery?
Yes. Yep. Dex and archery.
Plus the 2 from... can I blood buff as well at the same time? My strength.
As long as you haven't spent the maximum amount of blood that you can spend in a round, the answer is always yes.
Perfect. Yep. She's also going to blood buff her physical attributes to add that extra dice. Okay, so that is 10. 10 dice. No, wait, hold on.
Okay.
It should be 5 plus 4 is 9 plus. It should be 11. Make sure I got it.
Plus your 2 for your blood buff. Which, just for anybody who's new to our combat, there's a thing you can do. It's called blood buffing. You spend a point of blood and you pick an attribute category, whether that be physical, social, or mental, and you spend a point of blood, and you can gain 2 dice to every attribute in that category. So if it's physical, it is your dexterity, your strength, and your stamina.
Okay, so for the staking, it's 9s or 10s, but what's the normal difficulty? 7 for just regular hits?
Normal difficulty for your bow. This is mid-range for you, so I'll go ahead and say 6.
Okay. Yeah, well, I rolled 1, 2, 3, 4 10s.
So that's 8 successes right there.
Oh, yes.
10s count for 2.
10s count for 2. So, yeah, 1, 2.
Did it.
Yeah, let me take a picture of this, because that's fucking crazy.
I need to know, are you shooting at the one that Gisela has dementated, or a different one?
The one that Gisela's dementated.
Great. Alright.
Yeah, it's just those ones. It's just the 10s. Everyone else is like a 2 or a 5 or lower. So 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you're gonna, with 8 successes, that would be. So with the longbow, the damage is normally 4. I just realized a thing. We'll tackle that next session. It's fine.
Oh.
Don't worry about it. I don't want to be confusing right now. Great. So the normal damage for a longbow is 4. You got 8 successes, so you would roll 13 dice for damage.
7 successes.
So, you fire your first arrow. Shooting for the heart. Now his armor auto soaks 4. So that's 3 levels of damage. If he succeeded on a single stamina dice, the torpid effect of staking would not take place. I rolled a 7, 4, and a 1. The 1 eats the 7, no successes on his soak. You send the first arrow hurtling through this breastplate. And fun history fact of today's episode, it was actually the English longbow which brought an end to the wearing of plate. Because an arrow going through a plate mail chest plate is fucking easy. They were meant to block swords and things with large areas or linear areas of impact, not putting all of the pressure upon a single point, which is precisely what an arrow and a spear does well. And the military pick, but we'll get to the military picks in like 100 or so years. Jettisoning through this breastplate. Quicker than anyone can see, that is 1 staked vampire. Sir Everard the Younger will be torpid in moments before he can even realize, Chili, you have 4 more fucking shots to make.
Machine Gun Gangrel. Oh, I like that. That's a band name right there.
Machine Roll.
Machine
That's what
Roll.
we decided to name it. Machine Roll.
All right. So after him, who all's surrounding the area right now?
There are 10 ghouls, and there are 3 other Canaanites.
The Canaanites are going to be the bigger threat right now. So she's just going to pick another of the Canaanites and then fire her next arrow. No 10s that time, sadly. But
Are you aiming for the heart?
I figured this would be like she would try, but if I try and fail to hit the heart, but that's it, but I still get other successes, like successes that would be a normal arrow success. Would that still hit them? Just not.
Still counts, yes.
Okay.
I just need to know if you're heart aiming at any point.
Yeah, she's going to be heart aiming to any Canite that she can.
Got it. Sick.
But yeah, so no 9s or 10s. What's the normal difficulty? 6, you said?
Yes, because this is a mid-range
2,
shot. This is
3,
squarely in your area of effect.
That is 4 successes.
So that'll be, you'll roll 7 dice for damage on this one. And one of his willpower.
4 successes. And of course, it's
4 successes?
It's the wing. It's another winged arrow.
These guys are not wearing knight's armor, but they are wearing leathers, which are going to eat 2 levels of that. Which would you had 4 successes?
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, he rolled a 10 on his soak, so that one it hits. But you see the shaft breaks off when it comes in contact with his skin.
Fascinating. Okay. So she's just gonna immediately
3 more shots.
Another arrow, and same guy.
Gotcha.
4 successes. None
4
of them
successes, Will.
5 successes.
He will take 1 level of lethal damage from that one.
And once again, same guy. 5 successes.
5 successes, that'll be 8 dice rolling for damage.
5 successes.
He rolled a 10 and a 9 on that, so he will take none of that as well. So that's all of your celerity.
Mm-hmm.
Now it is your official turn.
Just fuck it, another arrow. We're gonna keep this going.
This is my message to all of our viewers. V20 celerity is fucking bonkers. It's bonkers. It's crazy. Like,
yeah,
it's Vonson.
Yeah. So Avery recommended I take celerity at least a dot or two. And after I saw what Armin did with his celerity, I upped it to 4. So that is 8 successes. I had to count that.
11 dice for damage.
What was the heart strike requirement?
5 successes of a 9 or a 10.
5 successes of a 9 or a 10. So I believe this works.
10 counts as 2.
I have 2 10s and a 9.
Yep, that's 5.
All right.
11 dice for damage.
8 successes.
He's going to take 5 levels of damage from that, so he is torpid. He is staked. Alright, so what the rest of you see is, in a flurry of movement, both Everard and one of the other Anarchs take arrows to the heart the second the latter takes a few arrows to the body first, in lightning fast procession. As they are brought low, after the 17 is going to be Sister Gisela.
Yeah, watch yourself.
I know, I gotta be careful or I'm gonna get demontated.
Yeah, you see Jill like crouched low next to Rosalind.
I don't know. Like, he didn't get torpid. The person that Gisela demontated, right? Or is he just?
Yes,
he's
he did.
gone. He did.
He's
get
torpid.
torpid. Okay. Well, I guess we'll do it again. I don't know what 3 means.
There's 3 others, right?
2 others that aren't torpid.
I guess we'll do it
Jill?
again.
Yeah, Jill torpid 2 of the Anarch canines. You're going to do it again. Great.
Well, because Gisela doesn't have a whole lot going for her. Because of that.
I mean, it fucking works.
I
The
thought
difficulty is the same. 7.
Wow. I didn't even roll. Hang on. Wait, I didn't even roll all the dice. It's 9 dice. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have to stop rolling like this. It's 9 dice for this roll. Go look at that. I only roll good when I'm doing this. That's the only time I roll well.
That's funny.
So that.
Good God.
Count it because I can't. I'm like
Gisela,
still brain dead.
Gisela, we got this.
As is counting. It's the counting. 72 is the total.
It's difficulty 7, it's 10, yeah?
Yeah, it looks
what
like
it's
10.
looking like. Yeah, it's like
1
successes. So 9
Correct.
successes was as far as I had worked up to a time frame on.
10 successes.
I'm gonna say with 10 successes,
Make his head explode.
I'm gonna say with 10 successes, this is gonna be permanent for him.
Oh, great. I'd like to make him run off the side of the mountain. That's the only thing that I want to do. If I can.
Noted. I will note that in his action on his turn. Heard. Big heard.
Gisela just blowing a gasket on Jack's back. Like, internally.
Angry little gremlin.
Great. Great. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Gisela?
No. Unless Jack puts her down. Nothing going on here.
No.
And probably, I don't know if Jack even knows what Gisela's doing, so it's fine.
No. Jack's just like, alright, we're in combat. I hold Gisela so that she doesn't trip with her legs.
See, like, she's like,
you just feel like anger vibrating from behind you.
Yeah. Jack thinks this is emotional, like, support Malkavian. This is emotional damage Malkavian.
Yeah, so it is the Anarch Canite's turn. Giza. As you see your effects take place, the last words that are ever going to enter and exit the sane mind of this Anarch Semes. So he looks to you and shouts, Ite misa est. In Latin, go now, for the Mass has ended. And yeah, okay. He fully intends to run off the edge of the mountain, jumps a little too early, and impales himself on the iron spikes that are on the the fence that surrounds the churchyard. Proceeds to tear himself off of them, leaving both of his legs from the knee down, pinned to the top of the fence, as he feverishly claws his way towards the edge of the chasm and rolls himself over into the abyss.
This Gisela's expression.
The other one, seeing that both of his compatriots are staked, going to roll. Which, for his certain path, they change one of his virtues. He's going to roll a callousness plus instinct. Heard. Okay. Alright. He's going to draw his sword, use a point of blood for celerity 1, which won't take effect until the next round, but he will get the movement speed from it this turn. And he is going to... I'm going to roll a die here. I'm going to say 1, 2 is Jack, 3, 4 is Gisela, 5, 6, Jill, 7, 8, Morin, 9, 10, Rosalind. 8. He's gonna go for Morin. With that, he'll swing his sword. Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. We'll spend a point of blood. Blood buff is physical. That is 3 successes to hit you, Morin. So that'll be his strength plus 5 plus 3 damage. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11 dice. Now, you are going to roll your stamina because this is lethal damage, you do not need fortitude to soak lethal damage. So you just roll your stamina amount of dice and tell me how many successes you get over that are 7 or above.
Okay, so just the amount of stamina that I have, all right? I will.
Correct.
Is there something I can blood buff as well?
On your turn, you can blood buff, yes.
Okay. Yeah, 3 successes.
So your armor, being that you're wearing knight's armor, soaks 4 automatically. So with your 3 successes, you're going to soak a total of 7 levels of damage just off the bat. Which leaves you take 2 levels of lethal damage. It's a solid strike, but this armor has held up for you for hundreds of years and doesn't show any sign of stopping. Great. Perfect. Wonderful. We love all of that. That is the Anarch's turn. Next, it is Rosalind of Clan Tremere.
Okay. Alright.
Destroy them.
I think we got 1 K-Knight left and 10 Revenant?
Mm-hmm.
Good golly. Okay. Question is, do I target the one or the group? I think I want to use, what is it called? Route the Charging Hordes on the Revenant.
Nasty. We love it. We love it. Route the Charging Hordes. Difficulty is the... Oh no, they resist based off their willpower roll. So you go ahead and roll your thaumaturgy pool for me.
And that's, which is intelligence plus thaumaturgy?
Intelligence is for rituals, wits is for powers.
Cool. Okay.
We're gonna say the difficulty on this one, and this does affect both vampires and...
Oh, so I
ghouls.
can't target everybody.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I don't know why in my head I was doing one or the other.
You are doing all of that. Yeah, roll your thaumaturgy pool. We're gonna say the difficulty is gonna be 7, because that's their current path readings.
That ability sounds really cool.
It is very cool.
Prey on the Soul Sphere is fucking dope.
I'm probably gonna end up willpowering, which means you're gonna have to be even bitchier. Yeah, we're gonna use willpower. Cool.
Great.
Cool.
Just a reminder, Jack's the one who threw in that offer, so...
Oh, lordy. Wow. Wow, that's really bad. Okay, 2.
2 successes?
Yeah, roll 2.
You're going to choose 2 people affected by this power.
Okay. I guess. What do all the? Is there like a captain of the Revenant? Someone who looks like beefier than the other ones, or are they all the same?
They all look like they are battle-hungry drones used to keep people off of the K-Knights.
Yeah. Okay. So just 1 Revenant and the K-Knight.
Got it. All right. They are going to roll their courage. To try and resist this power, which their courage is... The ghoul's courage is 3, the K-Knight's courage is 4. What is your willpower?
My willpower is...
And I want to
7.
apologize because I did this wrong the last time. It is not your current, it is your permanent willpower.
Ah, yes, 7.
The K-Knight on his turn is going to attempt to flee. The ghoul looks unaffected.
Okay. With that, I'll move back as far as I can.
Perfect. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. After Rosalind, between Jack and Morian, who of you has the higher dexterity?
Let's see.
I have 2.
I have 3.
So Jack will go and then Morian.
Alright, so we're popping fortitude.
Great.
And since it's ghouls, I'm also going to use. It's not Eyes of the Beast.
The glare of the red eyes?
Yeah, that one. And then Pop Claw.
That's 3 points of blood there. Point.
Yep. And then the one is trying to run.
He's going to attempt to run on his turn, but he's literally toe-to-toe with Morian.
Oh, then I'll let Maureen take care of that. What are the nearest to Jack?
Some of the ghouls.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to split my to do one attack on one and one attack on the other.
Gotcha.
And blood buff. 4 points. Okay, yeah. No. The first one. What's the difficulty? 6 or 7?
For claws, 6.
Yeah. Okay, that's 7. First.
So that'll be your strength plus 7 dice in damage for that one.
That's 8.
So this is aggravated damage?
Right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Not on damage.
Oh, then 9.
Yeah, for damage, 1s don't take anything away, and 10s don't count as 2.
Gotcha.
Right. So let me be very clear. They do not have fortitude. Their armor auto-soaks 2. To say you eviscerate the first one with your claws is an understatement. Bisection is more likely.
Well,
proceed with your second.
Walking up and carefully, because Beast was still on his back and just.
You put her down. Okay.
No! I need you for my intimidation roll.
You're on his back like he's Yoshi and you're Mario.
Oh
like,
my god, okay. Okay, that's 4 successes.
Okay, so that'll be strength plus 2 plus 3. So strength plus 7.
Okay, so just the same pool again.
Jack eviscerating and Gisela mentally blowing a gasket. Making people blow gaskets.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
It's a great combo.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just like 1, 2, 3, 5.
Okay, so that would be 2. So your second one claws in deep. He is bleeding, hemorrhaging massively. But he is not quite out yet. Morian.
1, 2, and then start.
You see this K-Knight in front of you, this fellow Siamese, turning his back to run on you. There is no greater disrespect on the field of battle than to run from your opponent.
I don't want to stab him in the back. I don't want to do that.
You can get around in front of him. It's not his turn yet. He hasn't fully run. He's just turning to run.
Yeah, if I could get in front of him, very nonchalant, like.
Yeah, it's basically just a leftward spin You spin around to face him.
And
You see fear in his eyes.
yeah, I'll use the blade that was gifted to me to strike out at him.
Wonderful. Roll me. You're gonna blood buff?
Yes, blood buff.
Are you gonna spend a point of blood to activate your potence as well?
Yes.
So then that would be your strength plus your dots and potence plus melee plus 2. I believe that would be a pool of 12.
9 successes with a crit. I got 2 10s.
10s
Right.
count for 2. Yep.
Oh.
So each 10 counts for 2 successes.
Oh, each crit count for two successes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, 9 successes. I counted that right.
9 successes indeed. So, with your weapon, it is strength plus 7 normally.
Yes.
But now it will be. Let's see. Yeah, 9 successes. It will be your strength plus 13 is the amount of dice you roll for damage. So 18 dice for damage. If you don't.
The things that sword was meant for.
Yeah.
Are.
A note for my Werewolf Chronicle that will be coming in the future. This is why werewolves literally will kill each other in ritual combat over a clave.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's 12. Yeah, 12. One of them being a crit, so.
Got it. For damage, 10s just count as 1, in the same way that 1s don't take a success away for damage.
Okay, so 11.
Regardless, tell me how you end this Canite's life. On life.
If I could. As I spun around him to meet him face to face, with a very solemn look upon his face, he thrusts the sword into his abdomen and begins to raise it slowly, or with strength at least, to kind of split him upward.
You spin, impaling him just above the stomach, just below the heart, as he looks at you with fear in his eyes. And normally you would be able to lift someone up on your blade without much recourse. You feel the hunger that it was sleeping inside of this weapon. Its will to divide flesh from flesh. Its pure desire to bring death to not just the living, but the undead as well. As you lift up, it unseams him from the solar plexus out the top of his skull in a clean razor's edge cut, not unlike the one you just saw on Jill not that long ago. It is clean, it is singular, there is not a single shred of ripping or tearing. Because your mind is so ahead of your time, Morian, this wound is surgical. And you know the true meaning of the word. It's in a fluid motion, he is unseamed. There's not even a spray of blood until a second after. For a moment you think, did I not get the cut all the way? And then the spray of blood occurs after you've already recovered from the thrust. As his body unseams, falls both ways at the hip. Falls backwards. Wonderful. Is there anything else you would like to do with each other?
Are the rest of the revenants still there?
They are still there. You can move to get closer to them.
Would I be able to speak to them?
Ooh. fuck it. Yeah, go for it. Let me see what you got.
It's more just a plea than anything. But I'll say I hate for this to befall family. Those that chose death chose. You may still have a choice in this.
I need to ask you a very pertinent question. Do you mean what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
I will let you choose either charisma or appearance and leadership to make me roll.
Say charisma, appearance, or leadership. Charisma or appearance and leadership.
Charisma or appearance and leadership. We're going to say the difficulty here. All the Canaanites are either torpored or dead. 6.
4.
4 successes. Alright. I had a secret prerequisite there that I didn't say anything about. You needed at least the amount of courage each of the ghouls has in the amount of successes to succeed, and their courage is 3. As they kind of look you over for a minute, one of them clutching his insides as Jack has almost completely disemboweled him.
Jack's claws are still in him, so Jack will take them out if you can run.
They don't run. As you kind of look around Morian, you've been around long enough to recognize a few of the different Revenant families. You see Vikoses. You see Basarabs. You see Danislavs. Though disparate they may be and coming from different stock, it's in their reaction that you can see that they have all had at least some experience in the grand trial. As they all kneel and hold their weapons out to you.
And yeah, I'll look to the rest of the group before approaching, unless there's any protest.
I think Jill, in that moment, she heard your words, but her eyes are on the body you just cleanly sliced, and kind of having a moment there as she remembers that same blade carving into her and realizing what could have actually happened.
As you approach Morian, one of the ghouls stands. My name is Cassius Danislav. We will fight for you, if you would have us. It has been too long since we have found the worthy voivode. They are all concerned with petty squabbles, unwise overreachings for power. It is not our way.
I'll embrace you, Cassius.
We will tend to our wounds. We will make sure these two, as he kind of gestures to Everard and the other canine that are currently torpid, we will make sure that they maintain inaction. Mika and Dragomir. and Lombok. They all went within the monastery.
Thank you. Shall we look into the rest of the group?
Jill will stand from her crouched position that she had been, kind of lowering her bow, which had already been notched with another arrow. She looked from the body now to the Danislav. I guess she's looking for like resemblance to Armin.
There's certainly some family resemblance. Dark, kind of sandy hair. Broad shoulders, barrel chest. Kind of wild, unkempt beard. You can see this one, however, he has a bit of superficial, like, it kind of actually looks like a sunburn.
Like a birthmark?
No. Gisela, if you would like to roll me an intelligence and occult.
I might want to give that to Russell. I'm not smart.
I'll give you a 2 dice bonus for the research you've done into the Siamese.
Okay. What's difficulty?
7.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And of course, Morian, you would know this for free. The Donislavs were once lupine kinfolk that were fed vampiric blood over many generations until they were born bonded to their Siamese overlords. With this heritage, Donislavs, much like werewolves, take additional damage from silver. And also, on their first contact with the light of the moon each night, they have to make a courage roll or they will frenzy. Much like werewolves. The blood of the lupines is still thick within them. And the more elder Donislavs, that their blood has been personally tainted, not born tainted. When they make that courage roll, if they fail, they take superficial damage when first exposed to moonlight for the first time at night, much like a sunburn.
That's fascinating.
That's very cool.
Jill's going to look to Morian, and she's going to nod her head, and she's going to say, I'm ready, we should make our way inside. But then look to the Danislav. What did you say his first name was?
Cassius.
Or Cassius. You, Danislav, once this is over, should you survive, I would have words with you. If that is okay with you, of course, Voivode.
If it is amenable to the liege lord of mine, it is amenable to me.
That's a nod of acknowledgement.
You should go. They've been in there for a few hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a note, as soon as Morian, calmed the situation down and brought everyone to heal, Gisela would have climbed down off of Jack's back, given him a kiss on the cheek, and walked right up to the monastery door and touch it. Don't touch it.
Are we touching
With intent?
Jinx?
Always with intent.
Give me a roll.
I'm sort of wondering if I should use Spirit's Touch or Eyes of Chaos to ask you a direct question, and I kind of want you to tell me which one I should do. Because I can tell you what the question is if that helps you make the decision.
They did say the mass was over.
Yes, that's... Oh, thank you, Az. We're having the same brain cell tonight. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a Eyes of Chaos.
Okay. Perception and Enigmas. What are my enigmas?
Giza climbs down because now it's Morian's ghoul. Jack's gonna try and help the one he tried to eviscerate.
What is the difficulty?
6.
Oh, the 4.
Ask me your question.
Are we too late? Have they already diablerized the eldest?
As your eyes swirl, you lean into the fragmented perception of reality that is existence as a Malkavian. You feel the thrum of unlife of the Lord of the Fiends. It is weakening, but it is not yet extinguished.
Okay, so if Gisela went over and started touching with intent the door and rubbing all over it, she would just yell out and say, those of you who can...
question with 4 successes.
I do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, I don't really have another question that I can think of in this moment where it's almost midnight for me.
Yeah, you can forego it if you choose.
Yeah, I know, I can't think. Sorry. But she'll just shout out, those of you who can run fast now. And she'll pull open the monastery door.
So, Jack's gonna book it, but if we could all, like, Jack's would be like, if we could stay together. Let's go. And then you Silence of the Blood?
Joel will look to Rosalind. She's going to say, we'll stay close. Let's go.
Rosalind will nod.
As you all proceed inside of the monastery at Cernog, the cathedral's interior reflects an atmosphere of dark foreboding. It's obvious that Zelios had nothing to do with this edifice, for its architecture seems carved from the fevered imagination of some mad designer. Grotesque carvings of beings that might be angels, but resemble devils, glare down upon those who pass through the archway into the former sanctuary.
This isn't the cathedral Gisela saw, is it?
It's not, but it's also not dissimilar. In fact, you could surmise that they were made maybe by the same person.
Okay.
The air inside of this cathedral has a musty, cloying odor, as if something eternally dying has embedded itself within the stones and now oozes forth its essence in a miasma of perpetual decay. Eerie moaning sounds fill the cavernous ritual chamber, echoing off the high vaulted beams, reverberating in a cacophony of shrill screams that mimic the cries of victims undergoing the agonies of prolonged and exquisite torture. As you move through this area, Gisela, you see something you've seen before. But not where it should be. You see a stone sarcophagus. Same one you saw Nova Arpad placed inside of. It is the central worship altar.
Anybody there? Mika? Or Lambach? Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go over and touch it with intent.
Twice in one episode?
As you reach out to touch it with intent, you can go ahead and roll your power. but the lid does effortlessly slide away.
Okay.
Go ahead and make your roll for your power
Yes.
first.
What is the difficulty?
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Still 2 questions.
I meant the spirit's touch.
Ah, great. That intent. Wonderful. The last person to touch this specific lid was in fact Mika of the House of Beckons. You get the distinct impression that what they found within was not what they were looking for. And I will say your spirit's touch can track their movements as far as knowing that they went over to the wall behind this sarcophagus. They pulled on the brazier that has a lit torch in it, and it opened a secret passageway.
Is that passageway still open?
It is not. It has been closed behind them.
Okay, well, she's going to touch the sarcophagus, not say anything, and then walk over to the brazier and pull it. She went this way.
A section of the floor slides out, revealing a stone stairwell leading deep beneath. However, as each of you pass the sarcophagus, each of you that have met Nova, you see her lying in the sarcophagus. Staked, bound, dirty, like she's been there for a few hundred years.
We're gonna have to come back this way anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a problem.
It'll be fine. She's not going anywhere. Not right now. I will probably say that as we pass that and see that, she's going to look to Jack and then back to Rosalind, because I assume Rosalind's behind Jill.
Yeah.
She's just going to then close. She's going to quickly say later, and then she's going to try to close the sarcophagus again, just to make sure that
It's strange. A stone lid of this size should be impossibly heavy. It's not. Featherlight.
fascinating.
But actually, given that it's moving so easily, Jack's gonna take the body.
Oh, you want to take the body? Okay.
Yeah,
You
if it's
Nova
moving
out.
that easily, something weird's going on, and Jack doesn't trust it not to open again.
That's fair.
I'm right behind the quiet one.
As you all descend the staircase, you hear, or just before you smell, the blood dripping down the walls. You hear a beating of a heart. You see strange fungus just wrapping around the wall. As you pass them, eyes are opening in the fungus. Hands are reaching out, made purely of this fungal matter. Call back on a chronicle I previously ran. As you pass into intersections of these hallways, it looks like you're meeting a wall, but a large, fungal sphincter opens up, allowing you to pass through.
Gross.
This strange fusion of fungi and flesh that now coats the floor that you walk on seems to thrum with energy, like pulling a taut thread. Whatever this is, it's letting something know you're here. where we will end today's session. So as you enter out onto what was probably once a balcony, as you can see that the fungus has grown around the banisters, but there are still little pockets where it hasn't grown to touch. So, and it has that generally balcony shape. As you see down below you, at the bottom of a flight of stairs, tall, blonde-haired man, covered in blood, streams down his throat, down his chest, as he's just cackling in blood-drunk ecstasy. See, standing across from behind something that I will describe in a moment, looking directly at you, Gisela, with eyes of green veil fire that only Gisela can see. Dragomir Basarab. And finally you see supping, fangs deep, mouth cloying and hungry, around what seems to be this strange, tumorous mound of flesh and sinew and nerves. As you all enter, he pulls his head back, his eyes weeping bloody tears. As for the first time in many, many years, Orion, you see the face of your sire, Mika Vikos. For a moment, there is this tension in the air that holds you all fast. What do you hear?
That is something only I heard, and thank God.
It's this primeval, pained call. As one of the chambers of this wall completely detaches itself, showing the cavernous stone where it once was. Hundreds of limbs, eyes, chitinous flesh. The head is this malformed, almost fetal limb that at its center there is a circular mouth like that of like a hookworm that is just rows and rows of circular teeth. Its limbs have limbs. This is one of the most feared constructions in all of the Semis library. And it won't stop just for the anarchs who dared to feast upon the eldest. Thank you all for joining us on this penultimate session of Transylvania Beckons. We're going to go ahead and go around, reintroduce ourselves, tell you guys where you can find us. And we're going to go ahead and start with the wonderful newest addition to the Coterie, Edge.
Yeah, I'm Edge. Edge the Nomad on here. Edge Survival on most other platforms, playing, your Nietzsche. Yeah. Terrifying display. But yeah.
Love to see. As.
I hate the flesh thinkers. Why would you do this again? Anyway, hi, I'm as I was on all the social medias, because I think I'm funny, and today I have been Jack, the gangrel prince of our hearts. Everything's gonna be fine. I've forgotten everything. Having flashbacks.
That's okay. That's fine. Everything's okay. We'll go ahead and fire it on over to the wonderful Hadi von Schland.
Hi, I'm Huddy, or Huddy Funchland. I played a Malkavian tonight, and he's going to be super useful against this thing coming up by disappearing.
So fair. Go ahead and throw it over to the wonderful. Sure.
Oh, me. Hi. I am the Azure Butterfly, or Azure for short, or simply Rachel. I'm fucking terrified right now, I'll say that. Yeah, you can find me at theazurebutterfly.ttv. I am also the creative director here at Rolling Nomads. I play Ingrid of Sintra in Witcher Ways of Old, Prince Juliana Volstadt here, soon to be Maria Russellini in Berlin Bloodlines, and Kristen Kim in Eldritch Automa. Yeah, that's me. Oh my god, what are we about to go up against?
Your worst nightmares. And last but certainly not least, before the very least, which is myself, go ahead, Druid by Night.
Hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the things, including Twitch, where I stream Monday to Friday. What do I do? I'm the social media director for Rolling Nomads. I play Cersei in Ways of Old. I will be playing the Imogen in Berlin Bloodlines, as well as Rodriguez in Eldritch Automata. You know, I know we need to heed the call to adventure, but this ain't it. So that's me.
That's so fair. And last and certainly the least, I'm Avery. I've been literally everyone who didn't introduce themselves this evening. You can find me at Golden Gwydion on all the social medias. And you can find me playing the debonair debutante, Calamacacros, on Witcher Ways of Old. And very soon to be unsere gnädige Herr Edgar Veit in Berlin Bloodlines. With all of that said, we wish you all a good time zone, and we will see you on the next one.